Hey guys, it's Ari. Let me scoot up a little bit. So today I'm sitting on my purse. So today I decided to do a new setup. So I'm on my phone because I couldn't find my camera because it's just one of those days. It's a Tuesday, just woohoo. So I put you guys about my windowsill, thinking that could work. And I remember discussing a lot of my rambling vloggy videos. That I wanted to make story videos or ranting type videos about when I get really angry and frustrated at the world. That I would make those kind of videos, and I haven't really been making those videos, and I decided to start out with it. I would do a story type video, and that's what this one is. It's a story video, and it's really funny, and it's not no one's getting I don't know I'm not being mean towards anyone or anything like that. My only fear, obviously, of making ranty videos, I've seen a lot of people who just rant and they get so angry, is because I don't want to come across mean. So, because I promise I'm not. So I think it'll be more of story videos. Maybe if I'm really angry, which I tend to be sometimes during the week, just due to meeting people, I might. But I think I have to be really angry, obviously. So, and I really haven't been that angry to the point, I've been angry, but I haven't been angry to the point where I'm I need to make a video about it. But I do have tons of stories, so I thought that's where we'd start out as I go sideways. So I decided to do this story because me and William are actually planning on moving in together. I feel like I've mentioned that in another video. But this time it's good, we're planning it. It's gonna be in the summertime. So my parents are, because this is my house, but it's a rent, we rent this house, it's not, we didn't pay a mortgage or anything on it, but, so we've actually decided to move out of this wonderful rentable house because, my dog, aside from what you guys may believe, this is what I like to call the retirement neighborhood, because there are tons and tons of just elderly people here. And it's just not fun. My niece and nephew are 6 and 10 years old, and they don't have anyone really to play with because it's the elderly here. I mean, nothing against the elderly. It's just, they don't want to go out and play hopscotch with the kids. So we decided we were going to move to a new neighborhood that has, that's family fun, I guess. I don't know. That has kids their age and stuff, and is closer to their school and closer to my dad's work. So I thought, for this story, I'd tell you about the time when we first moved in here and my dad got a moving truck down the hill. I tell this story to all my clients all the time, and they find it completely hilarious. So I thought, moving out soon, so let's just make this video. Before I start, though, the other thing is you should know something about my father, because it's my father who did this, obviously. He doesn't think things through very well. I get it from him. So what will happen is we will come up with an idea that is good in our head, but it should not be actually taken out of the head and put into reality, because things happen that we don't register or put into the plan. We're it could, in a utopia, it could work. And so that's what happened with my dad. We were moving from my one house to this house, and if you were to look in my backyard, we have a hill, and it's a lovely hill. The problem with this hill, though, when it rains, all the water trickles down or goes into a puddle. And well, we didn't know that, because in our old house it was kind of flat, and it was really boring, and we couldn't really even use our backyard because that's another story for next time. But we had a big sand pit mountain in our backyard by the time we moved out. But anyway, so we didn't know that after it rains, it gets slippy and, whole 9 yards. So we had been moving literally all day. We started, I want to say at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get done at least before the moving truck going down the hill until 10. It was a long, we have a lot of stuff. And it was me and my parents, and, my niece and nephew obviously couldn't help us move because they're still not old enough. So it was just us, and we were trying really hard to get it all done and try to eat food in between, because you need to do that in order to live. So, the last run I went with my dad, and we were just like picking up like small things. And the thing is here is this house is actually smaller than the house we used to live in. So we actually had to like downsize, which is not saying like I lived like a big fancy like stylish house, but like my old house had like 2 floors and it had a basement and like the bedrooms were upstairs and like everything else was downstairs. Well, here it's all on 1 floor, including the basement. So it's technically 2 floors, but the basement is like a floor itself. And the rest, like the living area, is all on 1 floor. And there's only 3 bedrooms. And as you've noticed, there's me, my mom, my dad, my niece, and my nephew. There's 5 people trying to live in a 3-bedroom, in like a 3-bedroom place, and we only have 1 bathroom. So, we downsized a lot. And we were on the last run, so we put a lot of our furniture downstairs. That stuff like didn't fit. So like we have like tons of like, we have 3 sofas. We only have like 2 up here. We have some chairs down there, whole 9 yards. And that's what we had on our last run, was like more like the bigger stuff, like some of our fancy like dining room set stuff that we could never touch or else my mom would kill us. So my dad got this perfect idea, however, that if we, instead of moving it down the basement stairs, because they are narrow as, they are narrow. Like there's nothing. Me and William tried to get our mattress downstairs once, because I got a new mattress. We tried to like put it downstairs and it was just miserable for the both of us. So we were not going to do that with this fancy dining room stuff or this couch or anything else we were going to put in the basement, or else my mom was going to kill me if we broke it. So he decided what we'll do is he's going to put the moving truck down the hill and put it to the basement door, because we have a basement door that leads to the outside. And he thought if he could do that and back it up perfectly, we could get our stuff to go into the basement. Seems fair enough, right? Like, me and my dad, like, we thought this through. Like, this would be, like, a good idea. Of course it wouldn't be. So he pulls it up. He gets it to the door. And I think if I remember correctly, we take everything out. And he's trying to get it back. My dog. Hi, honey. Don't pay attention to Libby. That was not a ghost door. That was my dog. But anyway, so my dad, he wants to get it back up the hill. So he decides to go farther down the hill and make like a turn. Like I said, it rained the day before. And we didn't know what happens when you do that. And he's going down the hill and he couldn't stop it. And he puts the brakes on. He's trying to reverse back up the hill, and he couldn't. And I'm like, what is he doing? He keeps going farther and farther down, trying to stop at like every, I think, like 4 inches of moving and try to reverse it. So finally he's at the bottom of our hill where there is mud, like water, grass, just not good for a moving truck. And he has it down the bottom of the hill, and I'm like going down there, and I'm like in middle school at the time, and I'm like, Libby! Stop it. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I can't get it back up the hill. I'm like, what do you mean you can't get it back up the hill? And he's like, I don't know. It's not going back up there. And I was like, okay. So my dad decides to tell me to push the truck up the hill, or try to, while he has it in like, I guess neutral or reverse, however it is you do it. And like, he was basically going to steer. To which I looked at him and I said, you want a 4'10" girl who at the time had to weigh like at least 98 pounds, because I was only in like 7th grade, to push this big moving truck up the hill while you steer? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay. And, it didn't work. And the tires are now going into the mud because we're trying to reverse it, and it's just not working. So it's like getting farther and farther into the mud. So then we have to go get my mommy. And my mommy, if you've ever meet her, and yes, I call her mommy to be funny and cute. It works. But anyway, my mom, she's very serious. Like, you can't really tell her jokes. You can't, like, I don't know. She's very, like, not posh and, like, uptight, but, like, she's very serious about everything. Let's just leave it at that. And she has, like, a fuse, like, this big. And so when you tick her off, you tick her off. That's just rule of thumb. So now we have to explain to my mother that we got the moving truck stuck down the hill, and we're renting it, might I add. So every hour we have it, it's like, I think $10 or something, some weird number like that. An hour, or however they calculate it. And so we have to explain this to my mom. So my dad decides to have me explain it because she's not gonna, quote unquote, get mad at me, which is false. I'm always the one that gets like the death stares, whole 9 yards. And I'm like, hey, like, you know, Dad got the moving truck stuck down the hill. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, Dad decided to put the moving truck to the basement door, and she was like, excuse me, he did what? Like, this is why you guys can't do anything. And I was like, it wasn't me, though. It was Dad. Like, don't yell at me. And so now she's going back out, and she's yelling at my dad. He's like, you're a boob. Like, why would you do this? Like, you should have just taken it downstairs in the basement like a normal person. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, ugh, like, this is not good. Keep in mind, there are neighbors all around us. I have one in the backyard. I have one here. I have one there. And it's like 9 o'clock at night at this point. And we're just yelling. And he decides to then have my mom and me. He still hasn't gotten out of the truck yet. Gets my mom and me to try and push it up the hill. My mom looked at him and gave him a look of, oh my God, why do you even do this to me? And he's like, no, like, it'll be fine. Like, you and your daughter push, and we will get this up the hill. And she was like, no. You push, I'll steer. You and your daughter push, and we'll get it up the hill. And I'm like, well, but no. And so now they've switched spots. And it's getting further and further into the mud as we speak, because every time we try to hit, like, the reverse or, like, do anything to get it back up the hill, it's just going farther and farther into this mud. So then my dad gets this bright idea, well, let's just call my uncle. And my uncle lives, like an hour away from us. And so now we have me, my uncle, my aunt, my mom, and my dad trying to push this moving truck up the freaking hill. It's 11 o'clock at night out, might I add now at this point. And we can't get this thing up the hill. And so now my mom's freaking out because, like I said, every hour we have to pay a certain, it's like something every hour that we have it. Sorry, I'm like trying to adjust my legs, my short ass legs. And so she's like, oh, there's a bee. Anyway, so now my mom is getting angry because she's like, we've had this truck for way too long, and now we have to pay money. This is why we don't let you do anything, da-da-da. Like, you're so irresponsible. I don't know why you thought of this. You're a kid. And I was like, oh, like, my dad's in major doo-doo now. And now my uncle and my aunt can get up the hill. So at 12 o'clock at night, my dad has decided to call a tow truck, which we probably should have done when we couldn't get it up at like 9:30 at night with me and my mom and my dad trying to push it up the hill. But no, now it's 12 o'clock. Might I add, also, none of our neighbors know who we are. They haven't seen us or anything. We haven't talked to them, nothing. All they know now is that at 12 o'clock at night, there's a towing truck on their new neighbor's lawn trying to pull up a moving truck, waking all of their asses up when they want to sleep because, you know, they're elderly here and they go to bed at like 9 o'clock and they don't want to be disturbed. And I'm like, well, this is great. And like all you hear is boop, boop, boop. And like everyone's like flipping on their lights on my neighborhood. And they're like, who is this crazy ass family having a towing truck at 12 o'clock at night? And some people are like kind of stepping out and like looking out their screen doors a little bit. And I'm like, this is great. Welcome to the neighborhood, the Palachi family. Let's just add to the reasons why we're nuts. Which is why now we have a flag. I crap you not, like those little like flag things that you like stick in the ground and like put like different flags on it. Welcome to the nut house, because that is what we are. And the towing truck, needless to say, you know, got it up the hill. I think we paid like $100 and something to get it towed up the hill. My mom was furious. Like, I mean furious at this whole situation, because my mom also likes to go to bed at a decent hour, and now she's been up since 12 o'clock and she has to go and we have to like go and finish like unpacking the next day. So it's just not fun for anybody. So I'm pretty sure my dad got yelled at while I went to bed that night at 12 o'clock. I wasn't too upset because I was watching anime at the time because it was a Saturday, and I remember it was a Saturday because Bleach was on, which, if you don't know, that's a really awesome anime, and at 12 o'clock at night, it plays. So, while the towing truck came at 12 o'clock at night, I was in my room watching Bleach being all cool, but this is the best day ever, and my dad's getting yelled at about how incompetent he is about apparently moving stuff into a house. And, you know, these are just one of the many reasons why my dad and me we lack common sense a little. But yeah, and you know, at least all of our stuff's now moved in, and it's a lovely memory. And every time I tell this story to people, they think it's funny. And every time we remind my mom just says, "Yep, that was the day your dad was a boob." Like, yeah, he was. But yeah, that's my story. That's how we first moved in here, the first day, and how everyone came to know us here in my neighborhood as the NetHouse family. I have other stories about, like, the first couple of days we moved in here. Like, I can tell you why I don't have closet doors, because there definitely were closet doors there at one point. I can tell you why we don't have those anymore. I can tell you about the time my dad knocked out the internet, because that made my mom more happy. And I can also tell you about times, like, I've run into a parked car. Like, any stories you want to hear, guys, I'll be happy to tell you at this point, because I forgot a lot of these stories. And then I was talking to my client yesterday about some of them, and I was like, they're pretty funny. So, I hope you guys liked this first video edition of Storytelling Time. Don't know what I'm gonna call it first, but, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a beautiful, fantastic day. Remember to smile, of course. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to hear more of my awesome life and my awesome adventure of being 18 years old and all my stories through my 18 years of life from far back as I can remember. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!